Good afternoon. So next, today we will see Unit 6 Digital Signal Processor Part 2. So here we will see the interrupt in TMS 320CX C6XX DSP processor. So typically, the DSP work in an environment which contain multiple external asynchronous events. This event require tasks to be performed by the DSP when they occur. An interrupt is an event which stops the current process in the CPU so the CPU can attend to the task needing completion because of the event. These interrupt sources can be on chip or off chip, such as timer, analog to digital converter, or other peripherals. The servicing an interrupt involves saving the context of the current process, completing the interrupt task, restoring the register and the process context, and resuming the original process. There are 8 registers that control the servicing interrupt. An appropriate transition on an interrupt pin sets the pending status of an interrupt within the interrupt flag register. If the interrupt is properly enabled, the CPU begins processing the interrupt and redirecting program flow to the interrupt service routine. There are 3 types of the interrupt on the CPU: reset, non-maskable, and maskable. These 3 types are differentiated by their priorities, which is shown in this table. So the reset interrupt has the highest priority and correspond to the reset bar signal. The non-maskable interrupt has the second highest priority and correspond to the NMI signal. And the lowest priority interrupts are interrupt 4 to 15 corresponding to the int 4 int 15 signals, reset bar, NMI, and some of the interrupt 4-5 signals are mapped to pins on C6000 devices. Some of the interrupt 4 interrupt 15 interrupt signals are used by the internal peripheral and some may be unavailable or it can be used under software control. So first we will see reset or reset bar. The reset is the highest priority interrupt and it is used to halt the CPU and return it to the known state. The reset interrupt is unique in number of ways. Reset bar is an active low signal. All other interrupts are active high signals. Reset bar must be held low for 10 clock cycles before it goes high again to reinitialize the CPU properly. The instruction execution in process is aborted and all registers are returned to their default states. The reset interrupt service fetch packet must be located at address 0 and reset is not affected by the branches. The next is non-maskable interrupt. It is second highest priority interrupt and it is generally used to alert the CPU of serious hardware problems such as an immediate power failure. For the non-maskable, that is NMI processing to occur, the non-maskable interrupt enable bit in the interrupt enabled register must be set to 1. If NMIE is set to 1, the only condition that can prevent NMI processing is if the NMI occur during the delay slots of branch, whether the branch is taken or not. It is cleared to 0 at reset to prevent interruption of the reset. It is cleared at the occurrence of an NMI to prevent another NMI from being processed. You can manually clear this, but we cannot set NMI to allow nested NMIs. While NMI is cleared, all maskable interrupt, that is in 415, are disabled. So maskable interrupts are, next is maskable interrupt in 415. The CPU of C6000 DSPs have 12 interrupts that are maskable and these have lower priority than the NMI and reset interrupt. These interrupts can be associated with external devices, on-chip peripherals, software control or not be available. Assuming that a maskable interrupt does not occur during the delay slot of branch, So, there are the following conditions must be met to process a maskable interrupt. The first one is the global interrupt enable bit in the control status register is set to 1. The NMI bit in the interrupt enable register is set to 1. The corresponding interrupt enable bit in the IER is set to 1, and the corresponding interrupt occur which set the corresponding bit in the interrupt flag register to 1, and there are no higher priority interrupt flag bits set in the IFR. Next is interrupt acknowledgement and interrupt number. So, interrupt acknowledgement IACK, interrupt number INUMN. So, these signals alert the hardware external to C6000 that an interrupt has occurred and is being processed. The ISCK, that is interrupt acknowledgement signal, indicates that the CPU has begun processing an interrupt. This signal indicates the number of interrupt that is being processed. For example, interrupt number 0111, MSB is interrupt number 3 and LSB is 0. So together this signal provide the 4-bit value 0111 indicating interrupt 7 is being processed. Now next is addressing modes in TMS 32667XX. So this table shows the addressing modes. The addressing modes on the C67X3SP are linear, circular using BK0 and the circular using 1. The addressing mode is specified by the addressing mode register. All register can perform linear addressing, only 8 register can perform circular addressing. A4 to A7 are used as a D1 unit and B4 to B7 are used as a D2 unit. So no other unit can perform a circular addressing. So first is register addressing mode. Here table is shown for that. Next is linear addressing mode. Now for the load and store instruction, the linear mode simply shift the offset or the CST operand to the left by 3 to 1 or 0 for double word, half word and byte access respectively. And it can perform an add or subtract to a base depending on the operation specified. For the pre-increment, pre-decrement, positive offset and negative offset address generation option, the result of the calculation is the address to be accessed in the memory. For post-increment or the post-decrement addressing, the value of the base R before the addition or subtraction is the address to be accessed from the memory. So ADDA and is a subtraction A instruction. For integer addition and subtraction instruction, linear mode simply shift the source 1 or CST operand to the left by the 3 to 1 or 0 for double word, half word or the byte data size respectively, and then it perform the add or subtract specified. Next is circular addressing mode. Now the BK0 and 1 field in AMR specify the block size for circular addressing. So as with the linear address arithmetic, the offset R is shifted left by 3 to 1 or 0 according to the data size, and it is then added to or subtracted from the base R to produce the final address. The circular addressing modifies this slightly by only allowing bits and through 0 of the result to be updated, leaving bits 31 through n plus 1 unchanged after address arithmetic. The resulting address is bounded to the 2 into bracket n plus 1 range regardless of size of the offset R by C or CST. The circular buffer size in AMR is not scaled. For example, a block size of 8 is 8 byte, not 8 times the data size, that is a byte, half word or word. So to perform a circular addressing on an array of 8 words, a size of 32 should be specified, or n is equal to 4. The LDW performed with the register A4 in circular mode and BK04. So buffer size is 32 byte, 16 half word or 8 word. The value in the AMR here is 004001H. Now add or subtraction instruction. Add A, subtraction A. As with the linear address arithmetic, offset RCST shifted left by 3 to 1 or 0 according to the data size, and it is then added to or subtracted from base R to produce a final address. So circular addressing modifies this slightly by only allowing bits n through 0 of the result to be updated, leaving bit 31 through n plus 1 unchanged after address arithmetic. The resulting address is bounded to 2 into n plus 1 range regardless of the size of the offset. The circular buffer size in AMR is not scaled. For example, block size of 8 is 8 byte, not 8 times the data size. So to perform a circular addressing on an array of 8 words, a size of 32 should be specified, or n equal to 4. So next is fixed and floating point DSP processor. First we will see the fixed versus floating point. The digital signal processing can be separated into two categories, fixed and floating point. These designations refer to the format used to store and manipulate a numeric representation of the data. Fixed point DSP are designed to represent and manipulate integer, positive and negative whole number via a minimum of 16 bit yielding up to 65,536 possible bit pattern. Floating point DSP represent and manipulate rational number via a minimum 32 bit in a manner similar to a specific notation, where a number is represented with a mantis and an exponent. So the fixed point instruction detail, those are common for TMS 320C6, 2X, 4X and 7X processor. The term fixed point refer to the corresponding manner in which the numbers are represented with a fixed number of digital after and sometimes before the decimal point. With floating point representation, the placement of the decimal point can float relative to the significant digits of the number. For example, a fixed point representation with a uniform decimal point placement convention can represent the numbers like 123.45, 1234.56, etc. Whereas a floating point representation could in addition represent 1.23456 1234567 etc. As such, a floating point can support a much wider range of the values than fixed point, with the ability to represent very small number and very large number. With fixed point notation, the gap between the adjacent numbers always equal a value of 1, whereas in floating point notation, gap between the adjacent numbers are not uniformly spaced. The gap between any two numbers is approximately 10 million times smaller than the value of the numbers, with the large gap between the large numbers and the small gap between the small numbers. So the move instruction which is used in fixed point, it is used to move the contents between the register of the register file, control register file to register file, and also to move the 16-bit constant into the lower and the upper bit of the register file. To move the contents between the register, all LST units are used, and to move values between the control register file and the register file, S.S2 file unit alone is used. Then the load and store instruction in fixed point instruction, it is used for the memory to register file and register file memory data transfer through load and store data path respectively. The various types of the load and store instructions are based on byte, half word and word access. For the load and store instruction, linear and circular addressing modes are used. The offset value given in the instruction is scaled by the left shift and of 0, 1 or 2 for byte, half word or word access respectively. It is added or subtracted from the base register contents based on the address modification specified in the instruction. The functional unit used for the load and store operation with the register offset or the 5-bit constant offset are .d1 and d2 units. So the various types of add instruction in this process and its description, all add instructions use register addressing mode except addition using addressing mode instructions. Next is the dynamic range and the precision. The exponential inherent in floating point computation assures a much large dynamic range, the largest and the smallest number that can be represented, which is especially important when processing extremely large data set or the data set where the range may be unpredictable. As such, floating point processors are ideally suited for computationally intensive applications. It is also important to consider fixed and floating point format in the context of precision. The size of the gap between the numbers every time a DSP generates a new number via mathematical calculation, which that number must be rounded to the nearest value, and it can be stored via a format in use. Then the key considerations, there are some key considerations like cost, ease of development and performance. The dynamic range and precision consideration typically define the criteria which is used by the designer to determine whether fixed point or floating point processor are ideally suited for an application. So first is the processor cost. A designer ability to a lower bill of the material cost for the product has a direct impact on a competitive pricing. The market penetration and the profitability. Fixed point DSP are used in a greater number of high volume applications than floating point DSP, and therefore they are typically less expensive than the floating point DSP due to the scale of manufacturing. The system on chips variables including onboard memory, integrated application specific peripheral and connectivity options can also affect the cost and functionality of both fixed point and floating point processors. Then the ease of development is it is easier for a designer to develop a product. The more likely it is that the product can be brought to the market and ahead of the competition. It is generally easier to develop algorithm for floating point DSP as fixed point algorithm require a greater manipulation to compensate for quantization noise. As such, a designer typically choose a floating point DSP when implementing complex algorithm. Here again, SOC variables can shorten product development cycles. Next is the performance. The speed with which a DSP execute operation in an application is a critical consideration. Designer should implement the DSP format which will process algorithm with the greatest efficiency. While it is possible to program a fixed point code for a floating point processor and vice versa, the significant performance limitations may arise. Performance efficiency can also impact power efficiency. For example, in case where a floating point processor is implemented to execute a fixed point task, the power draw might be greater than it would be if fixed point processor had been implemented. So floating point DSP are optimized for a specialized computationally intensive application, where the fixed point DSP are optimized for high volume general purpose application. The development cost can be higher for fixed point owing to the relative difficulty of algorithm implementation, but the cost of the final product will often be reduced. The product cost for the application that floating point DSPs can be higher owing to the processor cost and lower manufacturing volume, but designer will realize ease of development, benefit, and greater overall system precision. Ultimately, the dataset requirement associated with the target application will dictate the need for fixed or floating point processing.